Hey everybody, DeAndre French here. It's been a while since I've had the chance to be on here. I had the chance to upgrade my studio a little bit, had some interesting adventures and business that I'm going to get to in future reference. But I wanted to come on here to mainly, and I had the chance for myself to reevaluate what it was that I was doing before. So it's interesting. My 1 to 2 year journey of owning the business, there is so much that goes with it, and it's hard because I'm a creative person. So being a creative for myself, the ambition is just there. Like and if I could describe a little bit of it, you feel like you want to conquer the world, but then you get out into the world and these obstacles happen. Then when you reach these obstacles, you could jump over the first obstacle usually isn't that difficult. It's not that hard. It's usually the second and the third and the fourth, and as a new business owner, it just keeps happening over and over and over. And it's very very difficult, especially as a creative person, because we have this energy that exudes out of us that allows a lot of us to create, whether you're an artist or a painter or could be a drummer, it could be pretty much anything to do with the arts or giving yourself. I think business is the perfect thing for that, but there are some obstacles that even for myself as a business owner, being able to scale my company, and I learned through trial and error by banging my head against the wall over and over and over. So I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? Let me create a series around some of the things that I've run into to give back and give some feedback back to you. So I'm gonna call this series the Creative Fundamental series. And what we're gonna do is gonna be 10 episodes. I'm going to focus directly on step one, all the way down to step 10, because there's a lot that goes along with making sure that, yeah, you have this great idea, you have this great business idea, you put together a business plan. If some people don't even know what a business plan is, but once you get that business plan going and you get out into the real world, there are obstacles. There are people that don't want you to succeed. There's competition. There's depression that comes along with it because you're not really getting that instant gratification. So those are things I want to cover in this series, is figuring out how do we get over those little hurdles. So today let's do story time really quick, and it's very very interesting. Before we get started, and I'll probably start sometime next week, you get the first video on that, but I want to share because it's been a long time since I've been on here and I have the chance to interview. I have had the chance to get all those awkward feelings back where you got to worry about your face looking a certain way, and you have to learn how to talk to this thing right here because this thing is staring back at you, and then you got to pretend like it's an eyeball. And there's so much that goes on into this, but let's share it really quick. So I was able to have we have a place here that sells some great Turkish food. It's Turkish food. They have like sandwiches and coffee and pastries if you're into that. And my wife and I sat down, and this is the busiest that I think I've ever seen this place. This place was packed. It was packed. And they're pretty new. The chef that's there, she's amazing. She makes great pastries. It's a very, those boutique places that you go to. Places are it's very small, but it's great. It doesn't have that weird taste where you go to like obviously not IHOP and Denny's, nothing against them, but that's a completely different thing. But this tasted like someone went in the back and made it directly at your house and they served it to you. So we went there, and what we saw was it was crazy packed. So they had about, and I think I counted, the entire inside was packed, the entire outside was packed. And it's interesting, it was a lot of young people that were there. So I remember watching, and I'm usually the critical one because I'm the one. I love people watching. My wife and I both people watch, but I'm always trying to think of ways to help people, give advice, even for myself, just taking advice because it's not easy being a creative, first of all, because we're always self indulgent and no one needs to tell us that we're doing bad. We know how we're doing. So I walk in here and we're sitting down. It took us, unfortunately, for the first time, usually I go in and the food comes pretty quick. Took 45 minutes for our food to get there. So during that time, we got the chance to get up. Mind you, this place is really, really good. So it's one of those places where you go there, you eat, and it's worth the wait. Well, we get up, we go next door, and there's a place right next door to them who it's a beautiful, another Turkish place. They sell like traditional Turkish food. And we come out, food's still not available. So we're waiting. So I go inside and finally she comes out. She's wonderful. She comes out, she says sorry for the wait. I could see the stress in her face, but she was also it's also like a bit of excitement because you as a business owner, this is what you dream about, right? You have it's bustling. It's almost like watching like one of the shows or the movies from New York. You got people coming left and right for a specific product that you launch. Problem is, she didn't set up or the business didn't set up a process. They didn't set up a system. So now they're making more money. They have more business than they ever had, but this is a boutique coffee place. So you have Uber Eats, you have DoorDash, you have people coming left and right for these orders. So the way that it's set up, I'm sitting outside, my wife is outside, she's sitting in front of me, and I'm watching. There's like a big glass window there. So I'm watching through the window and I'm watching people come in left and right. And these are all, and this is in Boca Raton. So there's all, you have young people, you have older people, you have people in their pajamas. And I'm like, what is it? What are they picking up here? So finally, the person next to us, their order comes through. So I'm sitting there, I watch, and it's coffee, it's pastries, and I'm like, "What is that?" So finally I ask, "What is that?" So it looked like there was like it's a little lemon custard, but it's custom. And I found out that in Florida, there's only 2 shops that make this. And I'm not sure, it's a little I'll put it here, but there's a little lemon, it's in the shape of a lemon, and inside there's like this lemon cream. It looked amazing. Found out that they actually went viral because a customer came inside. The customer was so impressed. The customer had a large Twitter following that they ended up posting, not even Twitter. My mistake. They had a huge TikTok following, which is even crazier. They ended up posting this on TikTok and it went viral. It blew up, completely blew up. So I'm looking around and I asked the server who I usually talk to, I'm like, hey, what is going on? Why is it so busy? She's like, I don't know. We went viral and they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared. And I like to think for myself, how prepared are we as new business owners, whether you have an art business or a trucking business or a junk removal or plumbing business, nail business, it's so funny. Like it, when you think about the beginning of a business, right? You have the logos, you have the business cards, you have all of these things. They're great. You're, probably posting on Instagram. What happens when you go viral? What happens when you go viral? And I think that that was like the main objective, and that was the main point for myself as to why it motivated me to get my little butt back into the studio and think about it. What happens when you go viral? That company went viral, and they couldn't even keep it. They didn't have enough product. And I remember we ate. Of course, it was wonderful. And I talked to the owner, and I told him, I'm like, hey, you have a huge opportunity here because it's supply and demand. You don't have enough supply. You have people waiting in line trying to get to what it is that you have. You know what he told me? He's like, I didn't even know that we went viral. He didn't even know what TikTok was. And it's a missed opportunity. And I run into this every day. My company, Creation Group. Obviously, we work with marketing up to consulting, and we work with our clients, and we talk to our clients. And I know one of the biggest things for me that I run into every day, I'm sure a lot of you run into, is budget. So many business owners feel that don't want to invest. They don't want to invest. Investing is great. Investing is good because look what happened. So this is one of those one-off outlier issues. It's insane because while they're busy running it, mind you, remember, it's a three-person team. So you have him, he's running the show, he's taking the Uber or DoorDash orders on one side, running back to the other side, and then you have demanding people that come there, they're looking to get their order fulfilled right now because they want a piece of what he has. So it's amazing where there's so much opportunity out there when you go viral. And mind you, like I said, he didn't post that on Twitter or TikTok. I keep saying Twitter because I have to get used to TikTok. But it's a huge, huge, huge opportunity now for them to capitalize and make even more money. So that is the lesson right now that I wanted to discuss and go over. What happens when you go viral? What systems do you have in place? Do you have the employees to be able to handle this influx? Or is it one of those things where the idea of having business sounds great? The idea of having business does sound great. I think about it every day, but trying to trying to get ahead of yourself and actually deal with the real life business, that is our issue as creatives. Is we're dreamers. We're a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. I'm not sure about you, but I know if you're a creative person and you're watching this, it is okay. It's okay to dream. It's okay to have these things. But one of the things that I want to teach, and I'm going to cover here in the next 10 lessons, is how do we beat that little head or that little voice in our head that tells us, hey, yeah, I put the effort in, it didn't work out. Let me go and try something else. You don't want to do shiny object syndrome. When you look at the shiny toys and you don't want to do that. You want to stick to what you have and it's okay, but you want to create processes. You want to be prepared for the moment that you do go viral. So if you like what you obviously see here, please like and subscribe to Creation Avenue TV. We're going to be dropping some new videos. This series, Creative Essentials for Creatives. Still working on the name. Don't be too harsh on me. We're gonna be dropping that pretty soon. So, like I said, I'm expecting to drop a video hopefully next week. I'll be back on here. I'm gonna be a lot more active here because today really, really motivated me to get back out there because there's so many people to teach, and I've learned so much. And if I can give back to you, then that for me that means more so. And I'm sure a lot of you out there as a creative, you love helping people just as much as I do. So if you like this video, please subscribe, please share the channel. There's a lot more to come. Just before I go, my company, Creation Ave Group, we're going to be doing our first webinar. Woohoo! It's been a while since we dropped, but we're going to be dropping that. And there's a lot to come pretty soon. We're going to be covering staffing. We're going to be covering some HR tips, and there's a lot to cover. So stay tuned. DeAndre French again. It's nice to see you all again. I will talk to you later.